Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I am Kami Nakomi, and welcome back to Kami Nakomi World for a special edition of Call Me a Sports Fan today, guys. I want you to, just sit back, relax, and let yourself free while you're listening to me and my friend that I have here today, who's going to talk about some NFL news and draft information and give you a little bit of a mock draft too, man. My friend, my bro, the big O from the O Show. Say what's up, man.
What's going on, girlie? It's good to see you. It's good to see you. As always, I'm glad to be on your show. You always doing it up big time. So I thank you for the invite. I'm excited.
Had
It's
to
the
have you back.
week.
Hey,
It's the
man,
week. We finally got some NFL
we,
going
we
on.
made it. We made
Life
it.
life is lifing again. I'm telling you, when NFL is not here, and it is so boring.
I can't say that. I'm a basketball fan, and
I'm a basketball fan too.
y'all keep on tuning in for call Lakers and the other 29, my Lakers show on Call Me Nakomi World. I appreciate you guys for coming through for that. So I am always excited for basketball, but right now
Heart
it's about
attack.
football right now.
I know you had a heart attack though.
I mean, it is what it is, man. It is what it be. Sometimes the team has your number, but the fight ain't over yet. So I'll claim I'll claim defeat when that fourth game when that fourth game goes on us.
I feel you.
If
I
it
hear
does.
you. I hear you.
So
Hey, look, my
it ain't
team,
over.
we playing Boston. So I without Jimmy buckets. So I'm clutching my pearls. I'm clutching my pearls.
I feel it, son. I feel it. It's a sad thing, man. Because it's one thing when you have a team player and you ready to go in, you ready to make a run, and y'all barely kind of got here as is. But
We
with
did
that guy, you have a fighting chance,
right.
and it takes everything in you to try to find that fight again. If you don't, without your main guy, it's hard, man. So I give them props for coming out and fighting. It's 2-0 right now, right?
No, this is the second game they're playing right now as we speak.
Oh, they're playing
It's
the second
1-0.
game today.
But that first game, they were up by
They
40
were
points.
up.
But no. Boston was up by 40 points going
Mhm.
into the third quarter.
Okay. Wow.
So when I tell you we don't see, I'm never gonna give up on my team. I'm not. But somehow we allowed them to make 22 3-pointers last game. 22. That's insanity.
Dug deep. Plain and
So
simple.
what needs I felt so there was an analyst, and I know we gotta talk football, but there was an analyst who made me cry when he said this. He said Miami Heat can make 100% from the field and 100% for free throws, and we still don't have a shot of winning the series. And you know who said that? Big Perk. You know how that right here, right to the heart. That's emotional damage.
It be what it is. I mean, okay, if we are intelligent and experienced sports fans, we understand the mountable, mountain that they have in front of them. Oh, but not an echo. Do you hear an echo on your end?
No, you're good.
Okay. It's an insurmountable task that they basically have ahead of them. So if the odds makers was making odds, it would be you put your money on Miami just for the shit of it.
I'm gonna put 500 on Miami, and I
Just
promise you,
because.
if they win the series, I'm an instant millionaire. I'm an instant millionaire.
You could walk around saying, I knew it. I knew it all along. I knew it all along.
Yeah, exactly. Think about it. Think about it. Like the meme says. Like the meme says.
Yeah, exactly. But real quick before we get into a couple of talking points that we're gonna hit up today, let me just remind you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I will not be posting this on my podcast due to not exactly ready to do that connection for both, with two people. So that's coming whenever I have guests on to record the podcast. But you can find it here at Kami Nakomi World. Please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. Please drop comments. I want to talk to the world today. If y'all out here, y'all watching, please go ahead and drop a comment. And just come on through, and also share me with your friends, guys. I mean, that sounds like pause, but at the same time, I appreciate you guys, and just let your peoples know that there's another voice out there in the world if they want to hear a different perspective. So, anyway, tonight, we are getting into, of course.
Go ahead.
Time has come, my friends.
Go ahead.
Time has come.
Let's say it.
All and end to all this waiting, speculating, and anticipating.
Say it loud, say it proud.
The 2024 NFL draft is within the next 24 hours. It's 24 hours away, people. This time today, Robert Goodell is going to walk out on the stage and say, the 2024 NFL draft has now begun. Chicago, you were on the clock.
There you go. There you go.
You're going to cheer for him. Some people are going to boo. I mean, it's Detroit. Who knows?
I'm going to boo because of Chicago. Green Bay all day.
I feel it.
Green Bay all day.
You gotta rep. You gotta rep, plain and simple, no matter what's going on. So we have this ahead of us, guys, and we're really. I know some people might be like, "Oh, you're late." There's been coverage on the NFL draft. I'm like, hold on. Number one, they're not me. That's all I gotta say. Number one, and number two, they quick on the trigger. They all jump in the gun saying, "Oh, you know how many different takes I've heard on the top 3 quarterbacks and JJ McCarthy and what this person should do and whether or not this team." It's all speculation, and it is putting stuff out. I wanted to wait until I could absorb all the information that I can, and then I'm gonna come to my family the day before the cookout and let y'all know what's going on. And that's just my opinion. I'm gonna walk away from it. See, leave it on the table and let's see how y'all take it. It's my mac and cheese and see if y'all eat it. Plain and simple. So I wanted to see and wait to get the full picture to find out what's going on. In the words of the late Bernie Mac, what's going on? So, all right. That's my quick take on the draft, or draft coverage, rather. All these mock drafts and rankings, mock draft 5.7. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's so many different things. How do you feel that they've been covering the draft and also the prospects?
They've been doing very, very well. I think, honestly, this draft has been more in depth than years because this is the first draft since if I remember correctly, this is the first draft since 1989 when Troy Aikman was taken in that draft, where the top 3 picks are the top quarterback prospects in the nation.
Right.
And quite frankly, this can actually end up being the first NFL draft where the top 4 picks are all quarterbacks. Right. So that has never happened before. Now, mind you, the top 3 picks as quarterbacks has happened twice. The 89 draft and the 2017, I think it was 2017, 2018, something like that. Anyway, but never ever have 4 quarterbacks been taken consecutively in the top 4. Quite possibly. So Caleb Williams has always, from Jump Street, been labeled the number one pick. I don't agree with that, but we can talk about that later.
We will talk about that later.
Jaden Daniels is pretty much solidified to go number 2 to Washington, which I would agree. Jaden Daniels is a baller.
They'd be a fool trying to restart their whole entire franchise and miss out on the Heisman winner.
He is a baller. Like, he gives them the flexibility to be able to do so much work on that offense with his arm, with his legs, the deep shots downfield. I mean, they already have the weapons to help him already. So his ability to open up the field gives offensive coordinators just go ahead and get on your hands and knees and thank God every day for your job.
That was easy. That, it's the Staples button. That was easy.
Right, exactly. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He just fell into your lap.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sorry. Now the Bears and Washington have to be praying to the gods right now.
We'll talk about the Bears.
Sacrificing on the altar.
Well, let's talk about the Bears. The reason Caleb Williams is in a no-win situation. The reason is, well, hear me out.
Go ahead.
The Bears, the last two quarterbacks that the Bears drafted were who?
Justin Fields and
Mitch Trubisky. Look at the careers of both of them since they got drafted by the Bears. The Bears kill quarterback careers. They do. They are a quarterback career killer. So I don't care the fact that the Bears stocked up on getting Mike Williams and getting all these other wide receivers and offensive line. It doesn't matter because they've been through 5 head coaches in 6 years, 4 offensive coordinators in 5 years. They are a quarterback killer. So Caleb Williams is going to go, and everybody's like, "Oh, the second coming, he's going to be." No, he ain't.
I mean,
no, he ain't.
I absolutely hear what you're saying, bro. Because that's definitely something I'm going to talk about later. As far as ready-made teams, just quarterbacks that get drafted into a great situation, rather than obviously that team was trash. So, you basically ended up on a trash team, and now all of their old problems from last year you're going to have to face again this year, which ran off the last guy that was in your position. But at the same time, we can talk about it. We can talk about it because
you were talking about the number 3 and number 4 teams being picked up in the draft, which I think would be the hardest teams to debate. Yeah, and you were talking about that.
Absolutely. Yeah, but I was going to say, just to finish off, I feel like they took off some pressure though by picking up Keenan Allen, and also they gave him a good weapon, and also they have who's their their starting running back.
Right now it's what's his name? He just came over from Philly.
Oh, Swift,
DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I don't really care too much about him. But at the same time, he's a weapon. You know what I mean? A lot of play action out there. And basically, so
they have Cole Kmet.
And they have Cole Kmet. I was gonna say they have a tight end. So
the wide receiver weapon from Carolina from 2 years ago.
Right. So they got weapons. They have some weapons. I don't know about their offensive coordinator. I don't know about their offensive line. So he is a good thing that he is okay to run to escape the pocket too. So it is what it is. They're just gonna have to see what it is. But we're gonna get to that when we kind of talk a little bit more about the Bears when we get to our mock draft and everything like that too. But real quick, we're about to go into our talk about prospects, but real quick, I just want to touch on a couple of stories that's out there in the world of football. Just to double check, you don't hear echo at all, Omar?
Nope.
It's interesting. So weird. Anyway, so number 1, just saw that today. Reggie Bush has gotten his Heisman Trophy back.
It's about freaking time. The dumbest, most idiotic, just unfathomable situation to ever be put. That man earned that trophy. Like that. Reggie Bush is the most dynamic college football player to ever hit the gridiron. I'm sorry. That is not even a debate.
honestly, when I think back about it, as far as skills to be able to do damn near anything on the ball, juke anybody out these socks, I'm thinking about my man out and what's the name? My man out in Detroit. What's the dude's name? Retired too soon. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Oh, crap.
Dang it.
Hall of Famer. Yes,
Of
in
course,
Detroit.
yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It'll come to me in a minute.
It'll come
But
to
yeah,
me.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he was not even like a LaDainian Tomlinson. He was just like he was Reggie
Reggie
Bush could do
was
anything. He could do
had the
anything.
quickness. He had the speed. He had the flash. You know, he
Mhm.
was back there returning punts. You know, and did that with the swiftness. But I mean, I've seen him stop on a penny, not a dime, a penny,
Absolutely.
just with snap finger, and then make you go whoop, and
Exactly.
and just slide right past him, and then hit the gas as though he never stopped in the first place.
As though he never stopped in the first place, son. He defies physics, period. See, my thing is the other part of this whole entire thing. I'm so happy and I'm celebrating for Reggie Bush getting his Heisman back. But the foolishness behind that whole entire thing, I don't. It's not. It's a little. I know the details, but I don't know the full details as far
Okay,
as the
I can tell you.
details. But basically, I know that. Hold on. I know that basically he was found out to be taking money when he was in college, and it was so basically they decided to make him vacate his Heisman. But at the same time, the hypocrisy of this, so with so many institutions paying their players on record, I mean, getting money behind behind closed doors. All of these players did it, even players that are not that you don't even know their names. I remember when I was out in Penn State and I saw a freshman driving around in Humvees on campus. You can't tell me that's and I don't that person is irrelevant as far as who they are, because they never went out and amounted to anything basically. But
Right,
even they got paid. So
right.
don't act like this is because you wanted to quote unquote make an example of him, something you keep doing. And now with the NIL stuff, you need to
Oh
pay
my
my man
God.
back his money. Whatever
He
he lost, it should be quantified somehow.
the amount of these NIL deals that are being thrown out there don't even the amount of money he got compared to these NIL deals, not
Pennies,
even yes, say that. Say that. Pennies.
crumbs. That's what they gave him. They gave him crumbs. They made billions, and then they had the nerves to try to take his Heisman Trophy away from him, which impacted him going into. Even though he wasn't. No, he was already in the NFL before they basically when they got it right when
No,
they
he was.
figured when
He was in there for years before they took it away. But he
exactly.
could not
But
do
still,
anything in college dealing with the Heisman, though. He couldn't go to any of the meetings. He had no say so. Anything Heisman related, he was annexed from.
Reggie, lawyer up, son. get their research company on it to figure out, put some dollars and cents to the amount of money that you could have made on top of whatever you made in your during your playing career on that Heisman circuit. Plain
Yep.
and simple. The commercials you could have been filming for them,
Right.
all that kind of stuff, all the different things that could have had your name and your likeness on it, and you could have got money off of that. You weren't able to basically be affiliated with it. Somebody can quantify that and put a number on it, and go to the NCAA or whoever the hell picks the Heisman. Get your coin, son. That's another payday. You're welcome.
Oh.
Absolutely. Also, go move right along. To the Hall of Fame class. I'm gonna go real quick, go through them real quick. Go ahead, sir. You
No. I agree. I'm looking at the list right now.
No doubt. All right, so we got Dwight Freeney, a famous pass rusher out of Indiana, right? This is his second. He makes it in on the second ballot. Devin Hester. Woo! That man was a beast just from kickoffs. People used to be like, "Yo, kick it the other way," and he would cross to get it anyway.
He absolutely has to go down as the all-time greatest punt returner, kick returner in the history of the NFL.
I didn't even know that was a category. But if that's a category, his name needs to be on top. Period. They might as well just name that award the Devin
After
Hester
him.
Award.
Yes, exactly. Name it because that man, it did. Oh my God! Like, and the fact that Green Bay, we had to go against him twice a year. Do you realize how many games that we would have won if it wasn't for him?
Exactly, man. I'm telling you right now, man. He's a game changer. He was one of those like Rebus Island kind of dudes where you just got to account for him every single game. A game plan for that person. If you had a game plan for that person in football, that means you was a bad man. He is getting in on his third ballot. Respectable. I think Shannon was on was at least up for 4 years before he got in or something. I don't remember. It was a while before Shannon got in.
It was.
Chris Carter forever. I mean, hey,
why is
dude,
a wide receiver to get in? I don't know why, but it is hard for a wide because there's one wide receiver that is out there right now who should have been in first ballot, and he is on the greatest. He played on the greatest offensive team of all time. The 99.
The 99. Oh, you talking about Torrey Holt?
Torrey Holt.
How isn't Torrey Holt in the NFL?
Please explain that one to me. How is that not possible?
Kurt Warner is in the Hall of Fame. Torrey Holt got to be in the Hall of Fame.
I'm just saying. Kurt Warner is in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, he has to. He has 2 championships.
Yes, he's been in the Hall of Fame. So how is Torrey Holt, who was part of the greatest show on turf, not in the Hall of Fame?
Like he wasn't basically cooking people for more than 1,000 every single year, with other weapons on the floor with him.
Right.
Marshall
Faulk. Yes, had Falk back there. I mean, come on
now. Anyway, he gets in on his third. Sorry, that's somebody else. Andre Johnson also. I thought you were gonna say Megatron. I was gonna say Megatron needs to be in there already. I don't know what they're waiting for.
He hasn't gotten five. Megatron should go in next year. I think next year is. Yeah, he should go in next year.
I'll take it. They be disrespecting wide receivers for real though.
But that would be an argument though to see because Megatron retired early, so he still left some yards on the field and some stats on the field. So that'll be
he shattered records, man. He shattered records. So that's, I was like, on the strength of that, I thought he should have been in by now, but it takes time. Obviously, I see some people that I'm coming up to. I'm just like, dang. Also, you have Andre Johnson, wide receiver. Say what?
He was a beast.
He was.
Ooh, that man was tough. I mean, that man alive.
He made noise on that small team. Seriously. He is in on his third ballot. See, sometimes basically it takes a while. And I mean, these people, I forgot, what is it? Is it 5 years after you retire?
Yes, 5 years after you retire. Correct. Yes. Okay. I will remember Andre Johnson, not only for the how he used to disrespect cornerbacks, but the one cornerback Andre Johnson went up against Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans, Cortland Finnegan. I know you know that fight will go down in NFL lore.
They got beef.
Did you think? When have you ever seen? When's the last time you saw 2 helmets get thrown off and haymakers still going, and everybody just stood around watching?
Let them fight. Let them fight. Let them fight. It had to happen.
Shoot, we just don't let them fight. Just make it hot.
Who was it? Was it Odell and
Oh yes. Oh my gosh, he played for the Panthers and then went to Washington.
Yeah. I can't remember. But yeah. Sometimes you just got to let that go. I mean, you just got to be like, okay, I have had enough. Another dude, absolute banger, easy one.
My God,
Julius Peppers. They Peppers, baby, just
played for Green Bay. Played
the
for
longest arms I've ever seen on a football field.
That man would eat every single down. I don't think it's possible that you ever found a play where he did not give 115%. I don't think there's one play where he did that.
I tell you, I was watching a show the other day, and they were talking about Anthony Edwards. Sorry, cross-referencing sports here. They were talking about Anthony Edwards and why he's not. Um, he's like almost like the best kept secret in the NBA, and they were saying because he's in a small market. It makes me think about Julius Peppers. He would have been damn near on Wheaties boxes if he played for like the 49ers or some shit. If he
And
didn't
not
play for the Panthers.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
he first ballot Hall of Fame.
Oh,
First
and
ballot.
rightfully so, and rightfully so. Like
Absolutely. He was a
yeah,
monster.
oh my gosh,
If I
beast.
had his stats, it would take a while basically just to go through all of them. Actually, I do have the stats, but I'm going just for time. You guys could go ahead and look it up yourselves. Julius Peppers.
Yep.
Nasty, nasty. Last person is Patrick Willis, which I almost kind of forgot about, but obviously they did too. This is his 5th time on the ballot. And
he is Patrick Willis in his day as a linebacker for the 49ers.
He was good.
Was boss at that time.
Absolutely.
Was boss. But he had a lot of controversy with him too. So because of that, I can understand why it took him so long to get in. But it's still well earned. You know, won 2 Super Bowls back in the 90s with the Niners. That man was a beast as a linebacker. Like, you get hit by him is like getting hit by Ray Lewis, you know, before Ray Lewis was Ray Lewis. Right. So I get it. But he did have a lot of controversy that surrounded his career. So I understand why it took him so long. But still, congratulations.
Right, exactly. Congratulations. No matter what. Hey, you get in, you got the gold jacket, you can tell everybody else to go kiss your ass. That's all that matters. Plain and simple. Whether you have a ring or not, you in the hall.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Correct.
Sorry. To also mention, there are 2 other guys who I guess are senior Hall of Fame ballot entries. You have Rudy Gradshear.
Randy Gradshear.
Randy, sorry, not Rudy. Sorry, Randy Gradshear. I hope I pronounced that okay. He was a linebacker back in the 1970s. This is his 4th time. And he was inducted now, or he will be inducted. And Steve McMichael, also called Mongo. You got a nickname, you are set. Plain and simple. He was a defensive tackle. I forgot which. I think he played for the Bears, right?
Did play for the Bears. Yes,
for the Bears. I'm not exactly sure from what I read that article. I didn't see exactly how many ballots it took for him to be on, but he played in the 80s and he was part of the great 85 Bears. Exactly.
He's part of the 85 Bears. Yes, he was.
So congratulations to all of you people. And of course, whenever you think about the Hall of Fame, you think of all the greats, at least that you saw play, and wondering where they fall and where they will fall. You know, on the list, and how long is it going to take for them to get in? And you have some people that obviously are going to be like first ballot. Is Peyton in yet?
No, he's not. His 5 years comes next year, I believe.
This feels crazy because I feel like him in Denver was a long time ago, but I guess not.
Yeah, I believe his 5 years come next year.
There you go. So that means that the man that comes to mind also, you know, that when we think about, okay, he's obviously getting on first ballot, first ballot, easy, write him in, go ahead, don't even bother to even call or interview him. It's Tom Brady. You know, of course, played 22 years. Patriots played 22 years with the Patriots, and also with the Buccaneers. Played 2 with the Buccaneers. Won a Super Bowl with both teams, 7 total. 5 Super Bowl MVPs. Most valuable player 3 times. Offensive Player of the Year 2 times. He's all world. I don't got to read all of his shit. You guys know who the hell Tom Brady is, plain and simple. But as my man O said,
asterisk.
Does that come with the asterisks? Because some of those because I mean, don't get me wrong, he as far as his numbers, he's at the top. So you know, but some things that he has done, some things that he has been affiliated with, definitely taints those championships that he has. And honestly, when you're basically ranking players, championships damn near trump everything else. So,
let me put it in perspective like this for you.
please.
We're gonna cross shift sports real quick, but you'll understand why. If you're a baseball fan, you know who Pete Rose is.
Yep.
Right. Pete Rose has to this day has records in baseball that have still yet to be matched.
I can't remember the last time I heard somebody even say they're getting close to Pete Rose's hitting.
Yes, but they still haven't. And Pete Rose hasn't played in 40 years, and still
easy.
Nobody has still. So, but he is banned from the Hall of Fame because he was betting on games. He never bet on his team, the Reds. He never bet on them. He bet on other games. But he is banned from the Hall of Fame. Let's look at Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, home run king. And yet they're saying because of steroids, they're not going to let him in the Hall of Fame. Let's look at Clement, pitcher known as the pitching god.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, same thing.
The Rocket.
Not going to let him in. So these three men are banned from the Hall of Fame for cheating.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's look at Tom Brady, air quote, the GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
Deflategate.
Yep.
People want to downplay that and all you want to, but no, fair is fair, cheat is cheat. You got caught, you got suspended for it. They found it to be a violation. Now, How is it okay for these other three men, even it doesn't matter if it's another sport, cheating is cheating. You are banned from the Hall of Fame for cheating. Now you got Tom Brady who got caught cheating, and yet you still want to let him into the Hall of Fame. As strict. I don't care how many records, how many points, how many stats. You got to keep it across board. If you're going to keep all these other people out of the Hall of Fames because you said that they were cheating in one way, shape, or form, you got to do the same. Come on now.
Real talk. I mean, I completely feel you and agree with you. It has to be some type of asterisk next to there. You didn't mention Spygate also.
Or Spygate too.
That
correct.
Was 7 years, I think, before Deflategate. Yep. Spygate was in 2007. Deflategate was in 2014. Let me see what happened during those years. Let's see. I can't remember exactly the NFL. He won a most valuable player during that year. I mean, it's basically during the prime of his career. It wasn't like they discovered it later.
Right.
They knew then, and we knew then. We basically, so I'm people have, I mean, maybe somebody might bring it up here and there, but people aren't talking about it right now. I can imagine that is partially because of the strong hand of the NFL's control over the media, because I'm sure people would love to spread a lot of different rumors that are true and going around, but it's gonna mess up the bottom line. Oh, they need to have that bus. They need to have that bus in Camden, in Canton, plain and simple. But I feel you absolutely, and I don't think that they're gonna basically put. Come on, now winning. Winning solves everything, man.
It does. But look, he goes into the Hall of Fame in 2 years. Okay, mm-hmm. He'll go in 2 years, or he'll be up for an option in 2 years, and he's going to be. They're going to put him down as first ballot. But this topic needs to be discussed when you're talking about Brady. It has to be.
Let me ask you a question then.
Playing devil's advocate. Sorry, huh? Barry Sanders. We were saying earlier. Barry Sanders.
There you go. Mm-hmm. The 300. There you go, sir. Very good. Very good. Let me play devil's advocate real quick.
Okay.
To not have the asterisks, would you, if you were Tom Brady, would you be okay going in second ballot?
Oh, if I'm Tom Brady, I'm gonna have an attitude. If I'm Tom Brady, I'm gonna have a whole.
See?
I'm gonna show my whole ass to the
He's gonna
NFL.
show his own. He's gonna
I'm,
be
I'm
worse
gonna show
than
my
Aaron
whole.
Rodgers. He's
I'm
gonna,
gonna show my whole ass to the NFL.
he's gonna be worse than Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna
Oh,
be a
hell yeah.
deeper.
Absolutely. Because Tom Brady's gonna be like, wait a minute, I got more championships than any other football player, coach, anybody that has ever played the game.
He's gonna be on all the shows. He's gonna be on Oprah.
Right. He's gonna do a tour.
He's gonna do a
tour. Yep. Let me express to you how important Tom Brady is.
Huh?
Let me express to you how important Tom Brady is to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They made a movie about 4 women, old women, who went to all the NFL games to watch Tom motherfucking Brady. It was a movie
called Hot for Brady.
Yes. It's a movie that is about 4 real life women who went around the country to watch this man.
Yo, man, it's this madness, yo. I feel you. Absolutely. It pisses me off because if I had to pick a quarterback that I really, really loved, it definitely Tom Brady wouldn't be anywhere near that top pick. I mean, as far as it's numbers, quote unquote, he's the GOAT. But at the same time, Peyton was. If Peyton didn't have to run into Tom Brady and the Patriots every single year, he would have had at least 4 championships with Indiana.
I won't argue that, but Peyton had one flaw in Peyton's arsenal. This is why he only has 2 championships.
Mm-hmm.
When it came down to the playoffs, Peyton disappeared. You and I both know when regular season player and postseason player in all sports, it's a whole different mindset. You know this.
Right.
When the regular season was going, Peyton was lethal. Peyton was nickel and dime. I mean, he would drop balls in a pin drop of a hole for a touchdown. But when the postseason showed up, man was vapor.
I guess during the time, because he would make it to that AFC championship, I attributed the losses to New England's defense, which I personally attribute New England's first 3 championships to New England's defense. I don't think Tom Brady ever even became a thing until after he already had 3 championships, all won on Teddy Bruschi and all those guys back.
Yeah, correct. I agree.
But I just always felt that I feel like that Peyton would have won others if he didn't have to run into. But that's why I don't care what nobody say. Brady's great, but Bill Belichick was the reason they won those championships. Chill. Don't get me wrong. Tom Brady became even more efficient, and which helped them win 7 or 6 championships altogether. But those first 3 championships, which built that franchise, was on the backs of those defenders and Bill Belichick basically knowing how to get a team prepared. You know how many teams I feel are stupid and are gonna kick themselves in the ass that they didn't hire Bill Belichick next year? Because half of these coaches,
the Falcons. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Half of these coaches, it's not about the fact that you don't have the right players or you don't have enough talent or that player is a troublemaker. You need a general. You need an experienced general that knows how to prepare people for the playoffs.
Yep.
For those tight situations, for the middle of the season where you could drop 2-3 games and not even realize that you just basically now you fighting for the wild card. Bill Belichick is going to have you prepared in the right way, regimented, prepared year by year. And I get it. Some players just want to come in, listen to music, and play some ball. It was good. He was great for his time. And I get it. A lot of the time has changed, but at the same time, when a player is down to it and they're just like, okay, I've been in the league for 15 years and I want a ring before I go out. That's the kind of coach you want basically on the sidelines, who's going to stop these kids from basically whining and being mad about this, that, and the third. You need a coach that's going to tell people to shut up and get on the bench.
I'm glad you said that, because I've been thinking about this this pretty much this postseason, and it actually has to do with your team.
Okay.
They're going to fire your head coach. No, I'm so serious.
Oh, and the GM.
Yeah, well, they're going to fire your head coach, because especially after the debacle, losing your star-studded running back to the Eagles of all teams, and you paying a broke quarterback that can't play. I thought about this, and then when I saw that Belichick didn't get hired by the Falcons, and then the fact that they gave all that money to a quarterback that's coming off of a major injury again. I was like, you know what? Belichick's going to go play for the Giants.
He needs to.
He is. Belichick's going to be the new head coach for the Giants. And I say that.
Believe.
I
believe.
I'm saying, think about it. Think about it.
He should have been the Giants coach since the 90s, period. The team that should have basically picked him up and kept his ass was the Giants. They let him basically go out into the wilderness, out to the Browns and bum it up. But at the same time, that sometimes is what sharpens you and what basically gets you ready to know, okay, next time I get shot,
it did. Exactly what it did. Look what the tragedy that he had in Cleveland, look how that prepared him for New England. All the things that he did horrible in Cleveland, he corrected it, and look what he did in New England. So I'm telling you, I thought about that. I thought about all the teams that were going to lose a head coach just from who have been there for years anyway, who had already been in place. And I thought about I thought about the culture, the city, and the staff or the players on the team, and where he would choose. I was like, Chicago? No, because he's not going to want to go to a team that's literally trying to figure out what direction they want to go in, because that's what Chicago is right now. They're flip a coin. Well, whatever it lands on, that's how we're going to do it. He doesn't want that route with Chicago. Mm-hmm. So I thought about that. I thought about Arizona, but I was like, no, because Arizona is having too many GM issues right now to deal with and a lot of bad press, and he doesn't want that drama. He doesn't. Oklahoma's not going to change. They just got their head coach, and the team is all about their head coach. That's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. The only team that I could think of that is on the cusp of just complete dismantlement is your Giants. And he can come in and he can absolutely, with one draft, change that entire culture. His mindset towards the defense, think about it. His mindset towards the defense can bring back the 2007 or 2006 to 2010 Giants, where their defense was dismantling teams left, right, and center. Mm-hmm. That's my take.
I take that take. I mean, honestly, even when they went to the playoffs, 2 years ago, I didn't really count to this shit. A lot of bum teams get into the stumble into the fucking playoffs. So I mean, it is what it is. So I never really counted that as any type of achievement. Just basically beating a team in the wild card game or whatever the hell it was. So and with that being said, I don't give the coach much credit for that one thing, or Daniel Jones that much credit for that, because they didn't replicate it.
Right.
I mean, I know he got hurt. So what? He's been there for 4 years. He's pretty much been hurt every single goddamn year. He's a broken wheel. And I
Yeah.
mean, I guess we could kind of go on to we could kind of get into the next kind of segments, which is talking about our teams and what we need. You know what I mean? So
Okay, we can do that. But
from your ear, I'm just gonna continue on to talk about the Giants real quick, since you brought up the Giants. From your mouth to God's ears. I mean, I've been on record saying it for years that I feel like Bill Belichick should have been the coach all along for the New York Giants. He fit it perfectly. He came up in that system, so he should feel right at home. And even like after the whole thing that was breaking up with what's the name, if it wasn't for the fact that we just got this new coach, that's the only reason why I was just like, Bill Belichick, that should be what should be our target. And I definitely have hopes with the fact that I honestly do feel like if this year he does I can't remember his name, Brian Daboll doesn't win the championship, I feel like you had one playoff win in 4 years. What do you want, a cookie? Let me make space for somebody new. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I mean? So they definitely, not saying that, let's just say this. Gettleman, who was a GM before Shane right now, Joe Shane, he destroyed the team. So Joe Shane was basically brought in to try to rectify that. And I'm not going to say that he has, made it worse, but at the same time, none of his picks in the draft has hit. Except for he can't even take the credit for Saquon, because Saquon basically was here before him. Nor can he take the credit or blame for Daniel Jones, because Daniel Jones was there before him. But what was on him was giving Daniel Jones that effing contract.
Yep.
That effing contract. Him. Yep. And Saquon, you're the GM, and what you're hired to do is to make a winning team. What you're also there to do is to realize who the heart of the goddamn team is. And when you decide because you don't have anybody else to give the money to, as far as a quarterback, you wish you had a better quarterback to give the money to. You decided to say, you know what, instead of picking up Tyrod Taylor or just using him or Geno, whatever, you decided to give him the money and think that Saquon, who's holding this team up for the past 4 years, is going to take that disrespect when he could be a free agent. Even if you basically give him a franchise tag, that basically is just giving him the middle finger. And he's going to basically, so, okay, we have no running back because Singletary is not the solution. We have no wide receivers. You can't tell me you couldn't have picked a wide receiver better in all
free agency. Oh my God. I so thought you were. I really thought you guys were going to go and because you guys got so much money in free agency. Your cap space was massive. And I was like, y'all about to ball out.
Nobody. We are like on New England level. Besides Daniel Jones, he's the only person really getting paid on that team, and maybe Dexter Lawrence. Yep. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So we should have tons of money. I don't understand why it is that every single free agency we come out just basically like we come out like we're the Cleveland Browns. We're not New York City. I mean,
we've turned it around the last 3 years in free agency.
These owners are like misers, but at the same time, it's just like, what are we doing here? New York is the only why New York in the NFL is seen in the light that they are is because we have won championships often, at least within a decade of each other. You know what I mean? So that's why we stay relevant.
But you guys haven't won championships since 2007.
I mean, at the same time, basically, it's still better than a lot of other teams. And plain and simple, we are trying to get back there, but the GMs that we've had were horrible, and the coaches that we've picked were horrible, and our draft picks have been just hit and miss, and one thing is not working at the same time. Peanut butter, no jelly; ham, no burger. That's basically how it feels in New York. So I'm just like, okay. You said we're on the cusp. I say we straight rebuild mode right now.
Well, okay.
Daniel Jones is the last in that set.
So with that said, you guys can do that right now with this draft. So you were alluding to it. So here's my question to you. You have the number 4 pick in the draft.
Nope, we have number 6.
I thought you were 4. No, 4 is Arizona. My bad. Number 6, you're correct. So number 1, we can agree is going to be Caleb Williams.
Yes, I believe that.
Okay. Number 2 at Washington, we can agree that it's going to be Jaden Daniels.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Number 3 at New England, that's a toss-up because it's either they're going to go quarterback or they're going to trade out. Those are the only 2 options that is up for them. So it's either Drake May or they trade out.
At New England, right?
New England.
Right.
For Arizona, they're talking about they either are going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Ohio State, or they're going to trade out with Minnesota, who has 2 first-round draft picks this year, and Minnesota will get J.J. McCarthy as their quarterback at number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you agree with that?
Those are the 2 options. You're asking me which one I would do?
Yeah. Which one would you take?
If I was New England, I honestly feel like I would be playing the long game. It's the brand new coach, so he doesn't need to win today. And I think Robert Kraft is good with that. I think their fan base is strong enough that they can survive some more winning, some more losing seasons. So if I was New England, I honestly would. Sorry. Yeah, you're asking about New England, right?
I'm asking about New England and then Arizona.
I feel like if I was New England, I would trade out of it. If I was New England, I'd actually trade out of it. And I don't know if it would be to the Giants or to possibly the Minnesota or to Vegas. Those are 3 teams that definitely need a quarterback. So obviously, if you're jumping up there, it's basically because you want the top 3. And unless Washington lost their goddamn minds, they basically the top guy that's going to be there, the top 2 guys that's going to be there is going to be J.J. McCarthy and Drake May. And from what I'm hearing, or at least from something I heard from some guys, basically, that might have been an earlier take or whatever, basically, but some people are thinking that Drake May might not be all he's cracked up to be. You know, a lot of these prospects get talked about as though they're the next coming, and then they fizzle in the draft. So some teams have their favorites. Like, say if I've heard JJ McCarthy tied to Minnesota. So if Minnesota was the one that's going to basically jump up there, I would assume that they would go ahead and take JJ McCarthy. And with that being said, then possibly other teams that are below them might actually be able to draft Drake May later on.
Well, the only way that would happen is if New England trades out of the 3 spot to Minnesota. That's the only way. Now, you said Oakland. We'll get into that. Because I know we're getting into that point. But Oakland, I don't see Oakland jumping into the top 10.
No, I was just saying that's just a possibility. Somebody who's in need of a quarterback, basically. But at the same time, some teams I feel some teams are swinging away, and some teams are gonna hit the first base. You know, they're gonna just try to get on base. I feel like New England, although don't get me wrong, I feel like definitely New England needs a quarterback.
Yes,
but they don't got nothing else on the team anyway. So why basically kill a kid? Sometimes you gotta hit a base hit and wait for the home run later.
But there are too many solid quarterbacks this draft.
Yep.
that can be NFL ready, you can't pass up. You
Oh,
can't, because I have not seen an NFL draft this quarterback heavy, with solid talent, not just,
exactly.
they
Good
can
tape.
possibly, with absolute solid talent. I have not seen it in a long time. So if he's there, whether it's McCarthy, whether it's Drake May, I would say Drake May is more college or NFL ready than JJ McCarthy. That's just my personal opinion. But
Right.
anyway, but
Yeah.
get into your Giants, as I was going to say earlier. I personally, I know the debate is for you guys is one of two players, is either take a quarterback, which would be JJ McCarthy, or get a wide receiver in Malik Neighbors out of LSU. Neighbors is a beast.
Okay,
of a wide
so
receiver.
there's a lot of variables that go into whether or not that's basically what's going to happen. I'd rather us do our mock draft first to figure out what, because we can, until we have the Arizona situation figured out, until we have the New England situation figured out, until we have the Chargers situation figured out, the Giants cannot figure out what they're going to do unless they're going to give up the farm to trade up with out of New England.
And those are a lot of questions. Yeah, you're right.
So there's a lot of questions. That's why, like we said, the draft pretty much starts at pick 3.
It does. Because 3 through 6 are nothing but question marks.
It's
because
question marks.
If
what I mean?
If New England trades out to Minnesota, that all of a sudden changes who Arizona's going to get. If Arizona trades out to Minnesota, that absolutely changes
what we're going to
get. Exactly. So
because the Chargers don't need a quarterback.
They don't need a quarterback. They need an offensive line and they need a wide receiver. So depending on, if Chargers can all of a sudden say, wait a minute, there's a whole lot of talent at wide receivers. We can stockpile draft picks right now and get a wide receiver later in the first round and still get some solid wide receiver talent.
Absolutely. I mean, this and with you, like you said, trading back, New England could trade back and pick up a rattler if they feel like it, in the 3rd round, maybe, you know what I mean? And they would have a solid quarterback. They don't really have to have that much large expectations. He can grow with the team, and then let's see if he shakes out in a couple of years. If in 2-3 years he's not working, you basically right back where you need to be, and you could draft again. I mean, New England is in the driver's seat right now if they really want to do what they want to do, but whole new squad, whole new regime up in there. We don't know what they're thinking exactly. If it was Bill Belichick, it would be crazy conservative. He might not even, he would probably just trade out of all at the whole first round and basically have three have picks for the next 5 years.
Yeah, because if they trade out, they'll trade down in the first round, but they'll pick up. Not only will they pick up another 2nd round pick, they'll pick up another 1st round pick next year. This will give them 2 first rounders in next year's draft.
Okay, so now I'm going to answer your question regarding the needs of my team.
Okay.
I won't it depend. Okay. Specifically, my Giants need. Hold on one second. I was trying to make. Where's my notes? Oh, okay. I know what I'm doing here. I had it somewhere else too, but oh man. Anyway, I can say it off the top of my head. We need a quarterback, obviously. We need a wide receiver. And this is not just basically, this is obviously also something coming from the actual team. Mara, the owner, has been on record saying that he has given the GM freedom to draft a quarterback if he needs to. So that means this green light. Whatever you want, wherever you want to play, go ahead and do it. Now, with that comes a caveat, though. You can't just basically pick anybody. You
True.
you don't jump up to the third round. I mean, to the third pick unless you are absolutely sure
Yes.
who you want and that
Yep.
that dude is going to be the future of the goddamn team. Because
Yep.
if you don't, this is your last goddamn year. And on top of it, you traded all the way up to the third round. He ain't sitting behind Daniel Dimes. He
Facts.
gotta be up in there starting.
Facts.
Ain't nobody gonna bet. Daniel Jones won't make it past week 2 with the New York Giants fans. They're gonna be yelling for the next kid.
Especially since the New York Jets are right there and already with Aaron Rodgers coming back. The last thing the Giants
demand competition.
Yes, the last thing the Giants fans need to deal with is the Jets fans balling out, and you guys are still trying to figure it out because New York has been a Giants city for the longest time known to man.
Absolutely. I don't know why the Jets are even still there. Honestly, they're like the Clippers. I don't even know why y'all still here. You can move down to Virginia.
Right now, the Clippers are better than the Lakers.
They still don't have no championship. So when they punch their ticket,
that's true.
Punch their ticket,
that's true.
They could get props.
That's true. But the Jets
whipped their ass 3 times this year.
The last thing you Giants fans need is for the everybody singing praises for the Jets because they balling out, and you all still dealing with Danny Dimes overthrowing and throwing at people's feet.
See, now that's not really. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and yes, it should make sense. But that's basically for young kids who don't have no sense of history. They plain and simple. Since Joe was on the sidelines with the fur coat, y'all have been doing a damn thing. We've been taking out giants. We've been taking out giants over here. We are the Giants, and we've been taking down giants.
Oh, that's great! I love it. Okay, I see you. See you.
Cool. Plain and simple.
All right, so let's
let the kids play a little bit. Let the kids play.
So your honest opinion, your thoughts. Okay. So are you taking with the 6th overall pick, in your opinion, are you trading out? Are you drafting a wide receiver, or are you taking a quarterback? You have 30 seconds. Go.
I say we take the wide receiver. I say we because honestly, Drake May could be a bust. JJ McCarthy could be a bust. Period.
True.
Both of them. Unless you're Daniels or you're Caleb, nobody has no guarantees out there. Plain and simple. The only thing that's going to stop those two is injury. Plain and simple. But Drake May, I'm not Drake May. Drake May and what's the name and JJ McCarthy. That's hype. It's hype. It's not saying that I didn't see them play good football. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I don't watch a lot of college football, but I watched some tape. You know what I'm saying? And I went through it and I basically looked at their throwing style with like that. And I'm just like, all right, they could do a little something, but at the same time, nothing jumps off the screen with me. You know what I'm saying? So they don't have the intangibles of like Daniels. So it's just like, am I gonna?
Both of them are pocket quarterbacks. Both of them are pocket quarterbacks. They're not dual threat quarterbacks. No, you're absolutely correct.
So am I going to shit on this draft to basically get somebody that might get me fired? Or this is what I think the Giants need to do. Or this is what I would do if I was the Giants. Like I said, I would stay and I would pick the best wide receiver available. I'm praying to the gods that they stay at 6 and somehow the Minnesota Vikings jump up and take JJ McCarthy. So that basically that
means Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to you guys.
Marvin Harrison Jr. will fall
to us. Marvin Harrison Jr. will fall to you.
Yes, I'm praying for it to happen. And then on top of it, we would basically, I hope that I'm just like, don't waste the capital there. Waste the capital later in the first round. Jump back up and pick up Penix. That's my play. That's my play.
Right there, Penix, and I'm glad you mentioned him. Penix is, I was going to mention, He is my biggest sleeper.
Absolutely.
I have him going to Oakland because Oakland needs one, but he is my biggest sleeper in this entire draft because the only reason he is not a top 3 quarterback prospect is because of his injury history. That is
Yeah.
the only
Which was
reason.
years ago.
Right,
A
exactly.
whole other school ago.
The only reason why. But if it wasn't for that, he would absolutely be a top 3 threat. He is my sleeper for this draft.
I've been saying Penix since him and Caleb played earlier this year, and that was earlier in the season. I saw him play, and I was just like, I like that
he
kid
balled.
Penix.
Oh, he balled. Oh,
like
yeah.
that kid
Penix is
Penix.
a baller.
And everybody was just like, oh, what Penix this, the Penix and that Penix is this. And I was like, I like that kid Penix. I don't know why. I like that kid Penix. And I sat down and I started watching some film of his, and I was just like, yeah, the kid throws strikes. I don't know if he has a touch, the kind of, I don't know if he has that, like, that Patrick Mahomes kind of little light touches, boom, the little tiny, not the whole rev, not the whole back, put the whole back into it. I don't know if he has a little short game, but my man has a cannon.
He does.
And he's throwing strikes.
He does.
He's just going to get better. And he's experienced. I don't have to wait for some little timid kid who's just coming out of his mom to get his legs, to get his sea legs about him. I don't need none of that.
The more I talk to you, the more we talk football, the more of your New York comes out of you. Like, it's so factually true. The New York comes out, like, you legitimately talk as a true Giants fan. Like, look, we ain't got time for this. We ain't got time to wait. We ain't got time for stupidity. We don't got time to. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
It's funny because I mean, football is a lot different than basketball, but it's crazy that I'm basically fans of two storied franchises, opposite ends of the spectrum, but still in big markets, both in big markets. But the expectation of both fan bases is that we win championships every fucking year.
Yep.
Even if it's not realistic, God damn it, we know this. We know this. Yeah. As fans, we have to be unrealistic sometimes. That's basically our faith in the team. You know what I'm saying? How many sleepless nights did the Green Bay Packers lead you down over the years? Where you just like, I can't believe we lost that game.
So in the last, we'll say since 2000, the Green Bay Packers have let me down, heartbreakingly so, twice. 2007 NFC Championship team, Green Bay Packers against your bitch ass New York Giants. Brett Favre throws the interception in overtime that solidified the game to send you to the championship against Tom Brady and the New England Patriots, in which you beat Tom Brady with the immaculate catch on the helmet.
I had a good time at the parade. I had a good time at the parade. You ever see a ticker tape parade, boy? We didn't even work that day.
I want to hear a thank you. I want to hear a thank you to Brett Favre. Go ahead. I want to hear it.
Brett, we're about to draft Brett Favre 2.0 in Penix. That's what he reminds me of, son. He reminds me of, he just throws strikes. He don't know how to throw it. He only throws at one speed. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it.
The next one was probably even more heartbreaking than that. 2014 NFC Championship, Green Bay versus Seattle. Green Bay was up by 17 points. We let them come back, go to overtime. They kick an onside kick. We are expecting the onside kick, and the mother freaking backup tight end jumps up to try to catch the damn ball instead of letting Jordy Nelson, who was standing right behind his ass, catch it for us to down it and win the game. But no, he fumbles it. They recover it. They kick a field goal. They go up against New England, only to lose to New England on the 1 yard line because they don't hand it off to the greatest running back playing the game at that time in beast mode. And yet,
don't remind me about that, man. that I swear to God, no. If you're not a real football fan, that doesn't trigger you, man. You're not a real football fan, that didn't trigger you, bro.
But no, for real. Let's take 30 seconds. I know we got to get into my team, but let's take 30 seconds to talk about that. How is it every single person in the world knew to hand it over to beast mode at the 1 yard line? Even New England knew that they were going to hand it over to beast mode.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Carroll's like, psych, we going to throw it.
They're not ready for this one.
Oh my gosh, when I tell you,
Tom Brady was shocked.
Yeah, right. Everybody was shocked. Everybody was shocked. You realize how many phone calls I got about people who lost thousands of dollars on that game? Thousands.
I'm sure Pete Carroll had death threats.
You know he did. Oh, you know he did.
He had to walk around with security in Seattle.
Oh,
yeah. Walk around with security in Seattle.
Oh, facts.
All 13. That 13th player.
Not a single player, staff member, nobody talked to Pete Carroll when that game ended. He went into the locker room to give his speech. When he walked in, everybody was gone. He was in there all by himself.
You know what's crazy? That affected so.
It did.
You know it's crazy how one thing that happens that's like a butterfly effect so many other people's careers.
It did.
I don't think Russell Wilson was ever the same after that. But Beast Mode was ready to be out after that.
No, he left. Remember,
he left
in Seattle. That was it. That was his last game in Seattle.
That was last season.
He was like, "Oh, you don't trust me like this? No, I'm out. I'm done. I'm through." He hung him up.
Not even. See, Russell Wilson was a player and he was a star, but he wasn't the star.
Right.
The star of the Seattle team was Beast Mode and that Legion of Boom.
Yes. Yep.
That was the star of the team.
Yep.
He was either Steve was trying to take credit for himself for his quote unquote genius, or he was trying to make Russell Wilson a star to outlast Beast Mode, which from what I heard, he was already having problems with the team. So Beast Mode might have been out regardless. So he outsmarted himself.
Right.
And Bill Belichick put everything in place. Eat him up.
Ate it up. Yep.
Plain and simple. I.e., another one of the championships that Tom Brady didn't fucking win.
Yeah. Seattle. Yes. Seattle championships. Seattle handed New England that on a silver platter. Absolutely. 100%.
Let me see. Okay,
but
so real quick. Okay, so as I was saying before, I felt like Tom Brady, the defense was more the reason why Tom Brady's first 3 championships, right?
Correct. No, that is.
And that right there is another championship that basically Tom Brady was losing if it wasn't for the fact that the defense came through. So that's 4 championships that Tom Brady wins.
There's a fifth one.
There's 2 others. There's 2 other championships.
There's only one other that he didn't earn. Only one.
Go ahead. Which one?
The 28-3.
That low one.
No, the
28-3.
At 28-3, and
you gonna say the one against the Rams. You're gonna say the ones against the Rams, but I feel it. I mean, I would have actually given him credit for that one.
No, Atlanta
defense was ridiculous. Yeah,
all Atlanta had to do was run the ball. Just run the football. But no, you're up 28-3 and you want to throw it around the field. Why? For what?
Who were the running backs again on that team?
For Atlanta?
For Atlanta. It was
I
after
gotta look
Michael
it up.
Turner, right?
Michael Turner was one of them. He was
So
he was
and
the
he
number.
led the league that year.
Yes. It was Michael Turner, and they had one Swift guy, and I can't think of his name. But yes, Michael Turner was the main guy.
They've been shitting on running backs for years, bro.
I know,
The
but
bread
they
and
all
butter,
they
the
do,
heart and soul of teams, man. And they basically
Atlanta
have not given
handed
them enough
them that.
respect.
How you allow a team to score 25 points in a quarter, in one quarter?
Mm-hmm.
It has never been heard of.
I feel you. It's
But
ridiculous. Anyway, all right, yo, tell me about your team.
all right,
Obviously, y'all asses ain't drafting no time soon. So, you know what I'm saying? Somebody gonna basically be like tomorrow, the next day, be day 2 before y'all even have the freaking draft. What's that?
so
Green Bay is
let's be
drafting
clear.
25th in the
Let,
draft.
let's be clear. Green Bay has done something which you were talking about this earlier about allowing a quarterback to learn. Green Bay has set the mold on how to coach up a quarterback. Look what they've done. In 2005, who did they draft? Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron
What
Rodgers.
did they do?
He sat
Allow him
behind
to
Brett Favre.
sit behind Brett Favre for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
They were pissed when they drafted Aaron Rodgers. Favre was mad, but look what they did. They knew what they were looking at, what they saw. Aaron, like, you know what? He's great, or he's good, but we can make him great. Let's let him sit for 3 years. And he turned into the GOAT.
Yep.
Now, what happened 5 years ago? They did the exact same thing by drafting our now quarterback in Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers was pissed. What happened? He sat for 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. Last year was his first year as a starter. And look what the brother did.
For some reason, the quarterbacks there don't understand that is the modus operandi of the Green Bay Packers. To have a star and you basically let them be the star. And then sooner or later you realize that this star has an expiration date. I'm going to get the heir apparent and let them sit underneath your wing. And sooner or later, we're going to want to continue is the best situation, is the best blueprint for longevity.
Yep.
For success, for continuous success. Like I honestly don't remember how, like, in the last 20 years, how many complete losing bottom basement years the Green Bay Packers have had, honestly.
One.
Exactly.
We've had one.
Because that is the most important position on the team, and to have consistent good play at that position is completely directly connected to success. And so it would only make sense to have a younger, upgraded version of what you have waiting in the wings for when that decline happens, or at the very least when that person's money is worth too much compared to what they're getting in return. Now, if we're getting Super Bowls, we gonna pay you. But if we're not getting Super Bowls, we're not gonna keep on paying you just so you can basically get cardio.
I get,
you know what I mean?
But I mean, Green Bay has had the least amount of starting quarterbacks in the entire league in 20 years. No, I'm sorry, since 1994, Green Bay has had 3 starting quarterbacks.
Right.
30 years. Green Bay has had 3 starting quarterbacks. That's insanity.
See, that's where we messed up. While we were having all that success with Eli, I don't know if we were just not. I mean, hell, we didn't even draft Eli. Eli honestly just picked us.
Yes. Eli, yeah.
So
yes. Let's be real. If it wasn't for his father, Eli would be a Charger, not a Giant.
Look, who would have Philip Rivers? God.
Yeah, you would have had Rivers. But yo, so you are correct. Green Bay, we are in a great position because all of our starters on offense are second and third year players. All of our key positions are
Mhm.
second and third year players.
Mhm. You're young and you're ready and you're hungry.
Right. And so what
Mhm.
we need is an offensive tackle. We need
Right.
an extra safety because in free
Mhm.
agency, we got the star-studded Xavier McKinney from the New York
You're
Giants.
welcome. We can't pay these people all day forever, man. I ain't gonna send these people's kids to college, man. You can have that nigga. What?
The man is 24 years old and has set the league record for passes deflected and the least amount of touchdowns thrown on him.
Was it free agency or was it a trade?
It was free agency. You guys
He
didn't
could,
want to pay him.
he could go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Well, we'll accept
Hey,
it.
no doubt, man. No doubt. Use them in
But
good health, plain and
so we
simple. But
need
I feel you. I feel you. Absolutely. We definitely, and that was another need that we were going to need, basically, as far but some beyond quarterback and wide receiver. We need a cornerback.
and a
We need a
safety,
safety.
right? Secondary.
We need O-line. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well, that's for us. I mean, we need an offensive tackle because Jason Bakhtiari, he's gone. He's not there anymore. Thank you for all the years of service, sir. You killed it for us for many, many, many years. But he's been hurt. He's only played 13 games in the last 3 years. So he's been hurt. So we had to let him go. We let go of our starting linebacker. So we need a linebacker as well. So as far as our draft goes, I think we're going to draft Mims from Georgia, offensive tackle, in the first round. I think in the second round, we have two, because of the Aaron Rodgers trade with the Jets. We have two second round picks. I think like 8 picks from each other. I think our first one, we're going to get a linebacker. Quite possibly the one from UCLA, hopefully, but I doubt it. But we'll get a linebacker, and then I think we're going to trade the second round to just pick up draft stock, so we can go ahead and get the extra. But I think honestly, the two people that I hope we get is Bo Melton, which is the brother to our already cornerback Max Melton. Bo Melton is a star-studded cornerback out of Rutgers, and he and his brother have been talking about they would love to play on the same team together. And they Green Bay has already brought in Bo for a tryout. So I think in rounds 3 or 4 we'll pick him up as a corner. But I would love for us to get, even though we got the star-studded running back from Oakland, and Josh Jacobs. And then I would love for us to get
the rich got richer.
I think exactly. We got younger at running back and cheaper. I would love to get Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Jonathan Brooks from Texas. He's a beast of a running back, downhill runner. I think sharing him, putting him back there and having him as a third running back to learn, will be great. So this way, next year we'll have an absolute dynamic backfield.
Right.
So I think we're going to load up mainly in our secondary because we have a new defensive coordinator. We're moving to the 4-3, getting away from the 3-4 that we've had for the last 20 years.
Okay.
Which is going to allow more linebackers to pass rush and allow more defensive ends to put more pressure on the quarterback. So I think defense, we're going to go defensive heavy, and then just pick up a couple offensive linemen along the way. So we're in good shape. We're literally the youngest team in the league. The average age of our team right now is 24 and a half years old.
Very, very young team. Very, very young team, but very, very hungry. I think they're going to come out next year. Obviously not turn heads because of the fact that they already turned heads this year. So you guys are basically, you're gonna be good for a little bit. Y'all gonna be good for a little bit.
We went toe to toe with the Niners, and if it wasn't for our kicker, which we need a new kicker. Let me just throw that right there. If it wasn't for our kicker, we would have gone to the NFC Championship game against the Lions, who we had already beaten on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I might mess around and draft a kicker somewhere like in the 3rd round or something.
Possibly. I don't know. We need a kicker, though. I know we got some veteran kicker that got let go, but I think he used to play for the Vikings, I think. But we need a solidified kicker. We do.
Right.
But ultimately, yeah, we're in great shape. I mean, again, we're going to pay our quarterback, free agency this offseason. He's going to get a massive deal, but everybody else is on a rookie contract. We still have that. We don't even have to worry about that for at least 3 more seasons. Like, how many teams can possibly say that you have 4 stellar wide receivers all under rookie contract, 2 tight ends who balled out on a rookie contract, a quarterback who's technically still on his rookie contract. I mean, how many people can say that?
I mean, not a lot. Plain and simple. Y'all are in perfect position with if you basically just tighten up your defense a little bit more, like you said, you guys are gonna compete. You're basically obviously your number one direct competition is gonna be Detroit. In there. The Bears, they're gonna need some time. Even with Caleb, they're gonna need some time before they make any kind of noise. And who else is there? The Vikings.
Yeah,
the Vikings just lost Kevin.
Right.
Yeah, they're not going to be nobody. Not really.
Let's talk about the Vikings real quick. So, Vikings, their star-studded wide receiver is up for his contract. He said he ain't going to sign it until they see what they going to do at quarterback. Now, he's going to have to deal with a rookie quarterback who's unproven. Justin Jefferson is not going to want to ball with a rookie quarterback and his numbers start to slip. That ain't going to happen. So I give this Justin Jefferson's last year, unless he's franchise tagged.
I'm about to say they're going to franchise tag him. They're going to lose him the next year anyway.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Unless if they franchise tag him and JJ does not turn out to be the ball, if they get JJ and he does not be the baller that they're hoping, you might as well go ahead and hang him up. Justin's gone. Period.
I'm about to say I was going to say that basically they should have just go ahead and just test the trade market now. Because I
would agree.
His value is immense right now.
It's a first rounder. Oh, absolutely. You're absolutely going to get a first rounder for Justin. Absolutely.
So holla at your girl.
Now, this is what I think. What happened if I am the GM for the Arizona Cardinals? I'm trading with Minnesota and saying, you want my number 4 pick? Mm-hmm. I want Justin Jefferson, and you could take my number 4 pick. Think about that. Justin Jefferson in Arizona would be perfect.
No, they can't do that. Justin Jefferson is worth more than that. I mean, I guess if they're going to lose him anyway, that's a good right. idea. They're going to lose him anyway. It makes no sense to basically hold on to him. Might as well use him as draft capital right now. Exactly. I wish we had a player that was worth that much. We would have the damn near the number 2 pick right now, easy. But speaking about number 2 picks, real quick.
Hold on, I want to be right back.
Say what?
I have to check on my son. I'll be right back.
Go. Sorry. Go ahead. Speaking of number 2 picks, until he comes back, I'm gonna just go over something real quick. Guys. Sometimes it makes you wonder about some players and wondering, or some teams and wondering, why is it that we are in the position that we are in? I get it. No team should want to tank. Not at all. But if you are in a position, what's up, Eric? How you doing? Glad you're on. The draft is going to be interesting. Absolutely. So many things. There's so many questions. Between pick 3 and 6, there's going to be so many questions. It's going to be most interesting and most watched draft, first top of the draft in probably years. It's going to be good. I can't wait to hear the coverage and find out who gets picked out. But thank you very much, Eric, for coming through, man. So you wonder, why do teams do what they do sometimes, and just like, you know what? Okay, I'm specifically speaking about my Giants. They last year they were hurt. The quarterback was hurt as usual, and they had Tyrod Taylor out there, and they tried to rejuvenize the team, and he actually was doing well and actually won at least a game before he didn't win and got hurt, or rather, and then Danny DeVito was I think Daniel Jones came back, but either way, Daniel DeVito, the third string quarterback, by the time he got on, we had no hope of really making a real run. I mean, we were on the cusp, but we didn't have a good team. We were on the cusp of maybe losing some games, but for some reason, we dragged victory out of the jaws of defeat somehow. And I'm just wondering, if we would have had those 3 effing losses, where we could be right now. Right now, we would be 3-14 if we had those 3 losses that Daniel DeVito should have had no reason of winning. That would have put us at the 2nd pick in this goddamn draft. If Danny DeVito didn't win those 3 games, if Mara or Joe Shane didn't call down and tell them, lose these goddamn games, we could have Daniels. Easy. Franchise saved. What would you say, Omar?
Oh, one of those games was against us. It was. You guys picked us apart. You did. You picked us apart. It was a primetime game. I remember watching it. You and I talked right before that game, actually. And you picked us apart.
I was saying, why are we winning?
Because people are playing for their lives. And, Mr. He, for 4 games, he balled out. And then he came back down to earth. But those 4 games took you out of contention for the top 3 picks.
See, that's how you know there are children running the show instead of adults. That should have been a quiet conversation in Joe Shane should have invited Brian Daboll over to his house, and they went back into the drawing room, poured a couple of scotches, a cigar. It's been a long season, right? Yeah, it's been a long season, man. This kid Danny DeVito looks like he could be something. At least he's not going to make us look too bad out there. Yeah, I know. I need you to scratch these games. It would really, really help out the team. What will these 3 wins at the end of the season earn us? That 3 losses won't help us in the future. Brian Daboll's not going to tell a goddamn soul that conversation even had.
Oh, never, ever.
He would sit there because they've been friends for a while. He would have to know by this time that they effed up on that contract with Daniel Jones. If they didn't know the first time they even the ink was when ink was still wet on that contract, they should have looked at each other and it's like, God, I hope we didn't just basically, the writing was on the wall by that time. Malpractice, this team management malpractice that they even won those 3 games. We could have been in the 2nd spot. It just makes me sick to even think about it. But anyway, let's get into the mock draft right quick. We're not going to go too deep into the draft because Lord knows I'm not even going to front. I don't know many names after the top 10 maybe. Top 11, maybe. You know what I mean? But I'm going to let you pick. Because I have a stake in the game for the 3rd pick. I'm going to let you pick first And then you're gonna pick. So you pick, and then I'll pick, and then you pick, and I'll pick, and you basically just make the best decision for that team that's drafting.
Okay.
So you're on the clock, sir. You are voting for. You are picking for Chicago.
Chicago. I'm going Jaden Daniels for Chicago. I'm going Jaden Daniels. Caleb is going to be a bust. Caleb has all of the. Honestly, the truth is, it doesn't matter what quarterback goes to Chicago. Chicago's going to destroy their career.
You know, period. I don't like them USC quarterbacks anyway. But continue.
And that's what I'm saying. Out of USC,
I never did.
Only one has been good. Only one, and he played for the Bengals. Think about it. Back in the early 2000s.
Carson? No.
Carson is the only quarterback out of USC that was ever good at quarterback.
What got him? Injuries?
Yep.
I was like, what the hell happened to him? Palmer. Yeah, exactly.
It was injuries. And then the Bengals just weren't good as a team back then either. That's why they always call them the Bungles, because it just never worked out. But Carson, he was a great quarterback. But yeah, injuries, ACL, this, back here, neck here, shoulder. It was just too many injuries. And then when they traded him to Oakland, it was just a wrap. So, yeah, at number one, I'm actually going Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels has more of the things that I look for in a quarterback than I see with Caleb.
Okay. Well, with that being said, I feel like you would absolutely set the fox in the hen house with that over in Washington. They would know what the hell hit them. They'd be like, oh my God, somebody call somebody. Call Magic Johnson. I don't know what to do. Lord, somebody do something. They would have to go with Calvin. I mean, with Caleb. They would have to.
Right.
Even and they would definitely make their peace with it anyway. He's the quote unquote the best prospect since quote unquote LeBron.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and make his yellow jacket now. You know what I'm saying? Kind of foolishness.
Hearing that.
Exactly. I've seen way too many quarterbacks come through with that same pedigree, sunshine, and you ain't did shit yet.
Yep.
Anyway, so I will go with Caleb with the number 2 pick for Washington because they I don't think they're going to be like, okay, well, let's upturn the apple cart. You know what I'm saying? They would definitely just keep with the quarterback. Absolutely solid. Washington would burn for the second time.
Okay.
So, plain and simple.
I agree.
So, New England, you are on the clock.
New England, I am going with Drake May. The reason is Drake May is for the type of, you got to look at the culture in New England. New England has a culture of the type of quarterbacks that they like to bring up. And Drake May fills that pedigree. He's a pocket passer. He can run, yes, but he's stout. He's 6'4", 6'5", 265, I believe it is.
He's a Josh Allen type right, body.
Exactly. And so I think they can bring him up the correct way and let him sit for a few games. Let him learn. Yep, let him learn. Let him come up, and then he'll be the starter. But I think he fits the mold that New England is used to.
Exactly. I agree. And I think that they would okay, so the possible people that will come up, I don't think that the Raiders, as we said earlier, I don't think the Raiders is gonna make that kind of move to jump up. They have a lot more than they need for possible. He'll be fighting. As my man Eric Kwan said, Drake May has no weapons. He's not gonna have no weapons in New England, but he'll just basically be along for the ride. But I mean, hey, even if he was to go to the New York Giants, he wouldn't have any weapons. But life.
That's true.
So I'm on the clock and I am
Arizona, right?
Arizona.
Okay.
All right. So and you went with New England. That means that the Vikings wasn't able to get you on the phone. That means that the Broncos wasn't able to get you on the phone. That means that JJ McCarthy is still out there. I'm thinking that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with I don't know. I will say that, yeah, I think that actually, I think Arizona, personally, I think Arizona should basically draft Marvin Harrison. If I was Arizona, because honestly, after the first guys, and New England needed a quarterback, so I guess they take him. I would say basically go ahead, Arizona, and get you your another wide receiver,
I
because
would.
because you only have Hollywood right now. If you had Marvin Harrison and add him to McBride, that's gonna be some stuff to look at. With James Conner as a solid running back behind you,
There
y'all
you
can
go.
make some noise. Y'all can make some noise. So I play it safe. Go ahead and get Marvin Harrison.
I would agree with that. Specifically for the fact that you can't double team. Now, don't get me wrong. Hollywood is fast, but his hands suck. He has horrible hands. He's dropped so many touchdown passes in his career, it is unthinkable. But you still have to account for him. You're not going to be able to, do 2 over on either one of them. You can't. You can't do, you can't double. You absolutely can't. Marvin Harrison is way too fast and way too big for you to do man on man. So if you do a safety high on him, that leaves, Hollywood that's going to run right past your cornerback. And if his hands are working that day, that's an easy touchdown. If you want to do the other side, Marvin Harrison's going to body you, and there's an easy touchdown right there. So I agree. Go get your wide receiver of the future and build around the rest of the team on that offense. Get a tight end, offensive line especially. Make sure you definitely get another wide receiver, which this is wide receiver deep in this draft.
Well, they have actually the 27th pick again also in this draft, but I mean, hey, depends on what they do. They said, Pat, they could have had another pick, later on if they would have traded. But and that's why personally, I mean, don't get me wrong. If what I was saying is what I think Arizona should do. But
Right.
if as a Giants fan, I hope Arizona trades that pick. So Marvin Harrison could fall to us.
Oh my God.
Simple.
If he fell to the Giants, I swear the parades that will happen in New York come tomorrow night.
It would be ridiculous.
I can honestly promise I see you calling me if Marvin Harrison drops to you at 6. I mean,
let's just say this. And as I said before, I think that they should pick a wide receiver. And I'm saying wide receiver rather than a specific wide receiver because I'll take any of the 3. I'll take Rome. Neighbors, he's okay.
Rome,
he's good. He's good.
No,
he's great.
Too.
Rome is great. Neighbors is great.
Great.
Harrison to me is Megatron.
Yes.
He looks like an unreal player. He's like some kind of game genie character that they basically downloaded into the world. Even Eric Kwan said that he feels like the Cardinals should trade the pick. I mean, it would make sense. You're trying to build. You don't really need. I mean, don't get me wrong. They got a target. They could get other targets, but this way they would have 2 picks in this draft because they already still have a pick on 20. They had the 27th pick, so they could trade back and get the 11th pick, and they could pick their wide receiver at 11. Maybe they could get Brian Thomas. Is it Brian Thomas?
Thomas Bryant. Yes.
Thomas Bryant from LSU. So they could get a good wide receiver, maybe not a number 1 wide receiver, but they could get a good wide receiver and just basically continue to build because honestly, Kyler just basically needs some weapons. He just needs targets. He needs some targets. That's basically what he needs. So He's healthy. He's going to be out there, and so either way, I feel like the Cardinals can't miss. All right, so you're on the no, I can't pick.
No, I am. I'm number 5.
Oh, and I'm picking for the
No,
Giants.
no,
Okay,
I
cool.
am.
Go ahead.
No, you have the Cardinals. I'm number 5. So number
Right.
5, I'm with the Los Angeles Chargers,
Yep.
and I am going with an offensive tackle because uh, our line is horrible.
Absolutely.
Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's not sugarcoat. Our offensive line is terrible. Like the amount of sacks given up last year, it should have been a crime for the amount of sacks that was given up last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I understand you got to throw the ball within 3-4 seconds is a good time for a quarterback to throw the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you kind of need to get your 3-step drop first before you get to those 3 seconds.
He's running for his life with two great wide receivers. He's still running for his life with your boy Eckler right behind him. He's still running for his life. I'm just like,
Yes.
it's malpractice that you waste the last 2 years of this man's career.
Correct.
They literally wasted the last 2 years of his career. It wasn't even like he spent a lot of it hurt. You know what I'm saying? They just had everybody else was hurt. You know what I'm saying? So
right. It's terrible.
It would be malpractice for what's the dude's name who's the new coach now? I can't remember his name. I don't know why it's leaving me.
Jim Harbaugh.
It'll be malpractice if Harbaugh didn't come in and basically start to build up those two lines.
D-line,
O-line.
Absolutely.
D-line,
so
O-line.
I'm gonna go with Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. Big, massive guy. 6'6", 316, I believe, 320. Like, I mean, that man is going to fill gaps. So, I mean, when you talk about protection, that's a big man to fill protection.
I have 6'8", 320 here.
Okay, 6'8". Yeah, I like 6'6". Yeah, 6'8". Yeah, I was like 6'6", 316. Yeah, 6'8", 320. That sounds about right. That's a big, massive man of a
protective investment.
Exactly. So it's time to protect your quarterback. Time to put some people down there to keep him upright to get the ball down the field.
They have plenty of. I'm not okay. There are 2 top receivers left, but one of those 2 last years, Keenan Allen was hurt, and the other year Mike Williams was hurt. You drafted Quentin Johnson there. Is that Quentin Johnson? That's his name?
Yes.
Yeah. And you have Palmer, who usually is pretty much the backup for those 2 because they often get hurt. So now he's gonna get some number 1 wide receiver looks. Quentin Johnson's a good number 2 getting already having his feet underneath him. You don't have to worry about wide receiver. Yeah, Eckler. I forgot who they replace.
No, Eckler's gone. Eckler's gone.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to remember who they replaced Eckler with. I can't remember.
I don't remember. Oh no, yeah, they got the 2 running backs from Baltimore.
Dang. Oh, that's right. They basically got J.K. Dobbins and what's the name?
Yes. Yep. They got the 2 running backs. They got the 2 running backs from Baltimore. So, but no, they still need to have wide receiver depth. And like I said, this is a draft that is wide receiver heavy.
Exactly.
So great wide receiver in the 3rd round, 2nd round, 3rd round, 4th round.
Absolutely. If they wanted to, they could jump back up, but they could basically take their time. In the 2nd round, they have the 2nd round they're drafting 5th.
Oh, easily. Oh, there you go. Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Exactly. They'll be fine.
All right. Well, we're good with my pick, so we're down to 6.
All right. So
Giants.
with the number 6 pick, I am gonna go with, even though honestly, I'm not even gonna front. I haven't seen a lot of Malik Neighbors tape. I haven't seen a lot of film. I hear that.
That man is fast. That man is big, and that man has hands.
I know, but he's only 6 feet tall.
But
that gives me pause, man.
No, really?
A little bit. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Antonio Brown's not a tower. I feel it, and you don't need to be Megatron to actually pull in shots. So I feel like I'm gonna go with Neighbors on GP of. He seems like a lot more of a all around wide receiver.
Okay.
And also, he's not in the same specific because I think he runs more out of slot, right?
Yes. He
Then
does.
and Jalen Hyatt is a down the edge
Yes.
speedster. So I think that would open up our offense a lot more with Neighbors rather than Odunze. Because I was going to say Odunze because Odunze got that big body.
He
He's
does.
tall. He's
He
big.
does.
He's fast. He could catch the deep. He could catch the deep balls. But I'm gonna go with consensus and just basically keep. No, I didn't call it. What's the name? My bad. That's my fault. That's my fault. That's my fault. I was thinking of something about a couple of picks ago of who I was going to pick because I was like, I know it's a flip flop. That's a flip flop. I'm picking Odunze because my intention is to jump. Somebody's going to get Neighbors and bless them. Bless them. I'm picking Odunze so I can pair him with Hyatt. And I'm coming back. I'm telling you, I'm coming back later in the first round and I'm picking up Penix. And then I can have Penix and Odunze like you have Burrow and Chase. That's my
that's
my
vision. That is a combination.
That's my vision.
Okay.
I mean, we're not getting the top quarterback, so we don't need to pick the top 40 guy back up there. But I feel like it's worth it to pick up Penix rather than to not. Because if you have a wide receiver, you have now opened up your offense enough that you at least can be competitive this year. The defense is going to be okay. It usually is. The defense is going to be okay, but the offense is where we're stalling here, and we need to basically get those pieces. And I feel like, yeah, of course he might be the next Tyreek Hill. Neighbors might be the next Tyreek Hill. But at the same time, I just feel like it would be worth it to have Odunze and Penix's chemistry.
I would say,
call me a homer.
No, I would say I like your mentality. You're not going to get Penix. I'm sorry, you're not. But I would say get your weapons.
Not going past 12.
Get your weapons now to go ahead and set up to get your quarterback next year.
I feel it. I mean, that's basically the plan.
So this way, your weapons already on your squad have already been there. You know what they're about, and then you can plan to get the quarterback that you really want that match up well with the weapons that you have already on your team.
I got you. Absolutely. I mean, trust me, that basically is the reason why I'm just like, plain and simple, we're going to go with a wide receiver first instead of trading up to go get Drake May or to go get JJ McCarthy because they're unproven. I don't feel like they're proven yet. Or even even the Penix is a gamble, but he's a gamble where I like what I saw. So I think I feel like I could, trust it better than Daniel Jones at the very least. But definitely, and the only thing is we would have to suck again.
Yes.
Be in position to get next
year. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Well, with Daniel Jones at the build the team as it goes.
With Daniel Jones at the helm, you're right there. Sorry.
Sometimes it's dog days, man. It's all right, man. I'm cool, man. Don't need to apologize to me ever. We are with one of the most illustrious teams of all time. But yeah, we're gonna cut it there. We're gonna cut it there, guys. Those are pretty much the most exciting, picks for the evening, and we're waiting for that tomorrow night. We should be deep into the thick of it by this time next evening. But we will definitely chime back in with you sometime post draft, basically to talk about picks that were made and how we feel like it's going to affect the teams and going forward. You go ahead and say goodbye to the people out there.
Yet again, I love being on this show. I love your show. It is always something to learn from. It is always a joy, and I always have a great time. So thank you again for the invite. The draft is finally here. We about to turn up, we about to listen in, and we about to enjoy ourselves. So I look forward to doing the recap with you. And to your people, have a good night. And
tell them where they can find you if on social media or whatever.
oh yeah, so the Real O Show. You can always look me up. We always talk about everything and anything. You can talk to your girl. She knows. Her and I team up all the time. To come up with to discuss not only topics of sports, but we'll be talking topics of politics. With this being the election year for the presidency and Congress, so check us out. You'll see us on YouTube and across social media.
No doubt, no doubt. I always enjoy having you on here, man. I appreciate you coming on and taking this 2-hour journey with us. You are always insightful. Your knowledge is basically is unparalleled. So I really appreciate your time, sir. And thank you. You are definitely a benefit to have on the show. So thank you for your time, sir. I really appreciate it. Everyone out there, thank you so much for rocking with us. Eric Kwan, I thank you so much for your posts and for your presence. Thank you for everybody who basically just ducked in real quick just to see what was going on. I thank y'all too. I thank you very much, man. If you get a chance, go ahead and like this video before it closes. Tamika, what's going on with you, girl? How you doing, girl? It's all right. Listen, we about to get off, but go ahead and just rewind all the way to the beginning and watch some NFL draft talk. We talked about some really interesting stuff. Get you ready for tomorrow. If you are an NFL fan, I know some of y'all out there are Lakers fans, so maybe y'all out on the West Coast and y'all thinking about what the Rams are gonna pick. They don't pick until I gotta pick out bifocals to see this. Got a first round pick.
Yeah, Rams.
They said, yeah. Oh no, sorry, they pick 19th. They pick 19th. Yes. I'm about to say, they ain't still saying fuck them picks, are they? I don't think they still basically be like forget the picks.
Yeah, the Rams are more than likely gonna again the same thing with them. They're gonna go defense or an offensive line.
As they should. But yeah, the probably defense try to replace.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, good luck with that. So, but hey, well, we're gonna basically chime out. We're gonna basically say, have a good night to everyone out there. Be good to each other. Take care of each other. Stay healthy, and may you always find water and shade. People, have a good one. Later, all.
Take care.